Everton travelled to Liverpool in the Merseyside derby on Saturday, looking for a first victory at Anfield since 1999. I spoke with Kevin Campbell, the last man to score a match winner for the Toffees, away at the Reds 21 years ago. So, what are your main memories of the game in 1999?
I'm a bit lucky because my first ever game for Everton was a Merseyside derby at Anfield. And obviously we were on the wrong end of a 3-2 defeat that day. I always remember the build up to the game, you know, in the week, because the families are split down the middle. So getting that feeling, obviously in the build up to, you know, you got to win, but you can't lose the derby. Do you know what I mean? That's the feeling. Obviously within the club, all the guys are big blues and stuff like that. So, you know, you get that feeling of everyone's on it. The intensity in training goes up. But looking around the dressing room, you know, we had some real good players, some experienced players going into that game, and we were going in thinking to ourselves, you know what, we could win here. We fancy our chances, and obviously got to game day and everything like that, and you know, we got to Anfield and we felt we had a really good chance.
And you scored so early on. What went through your mind as the ball got played in?
Just hit it, because you know, in those games, the game's so quick that if you take a touch, it's going to get taken off your toes. You're not going to have the time. So as the ball got played into Franny and Franny reversed it to me, it kind of bounced at an awkward height. But I just thought to myself, just hit it down as much as best you can. And luckily for me, it caught the goalkeeper unaware. Sander Westerveld couldn't keep it out. It went in and it was cop end. Yeah. but my view after that, which will live with me to the day I die, is the Blues who are in the cop going crazy. You know, when you don't expect Blues to be in the cop. Well, I don't. But when the ball hit the back of the net, you see the little pockets of Blues jumping up in the cop. It was absolute. That for me was, and still is, one of my favourite memories in football, to be honest. It's brilliant.
Yeah, as you say, it was a surprise for you, but you were at Everton for a long time. You got to know that the rivalry, you know, Reds and Blues, it is families, and Merseyside are split right down the middle sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's the unique and special thing about the Merseyside derby. I know there's a lot of banter that flies about. Obviously, families are split down the middle. You see red and blue going to the game together, etc. Obviously, when the lads in the away end, etc., are obviously anti-Liverpool, aren't they? Because, you know, that's them. But everybody's got somebody in their family who's a red, or someone's got somebody in their family who's a blue, etc. So, you know, it's so connected. It's incredible, and it was unique for me to go through that feeling, and you know, I was just so proud. We scored early; it was 6 minutes, but you know, what a game! Obviously, 3 sent off in the game. It was mad. It was a crazy game. We took the lead and we held out. Ended up winning the game, and I think it's 21 years.
21, yeah.
It's 21 years, you know, it's got to finish. Come on, it's about to. Do you know, I always used to say that, you know, I don't want it. I don't want it. And for 21 years, Everton haven't won. So if I say I want to keep it, we might end up winning the game.
Yeah,
so
that's the best way to look at it, definitely. Because I know you're such an Evertonian that, you know, you're happy to pass that record on now, aren't you, to Richarlison, James? You're just happy so that Everton can win.
I'll be honest with you. I was happy 15, 20 years ago to pass it on, because obviously when you've been at Everton have touched you. You know how that feeling is, and I just want the fans to be happy. The fans have been tremendous to me, and there's nothing better than when you see Evertonians happy for beating Liverpool. Yeah. That's for sure. So, you know, I want them to feel that again. It's been a long time since Everton have won. It's been a long time, obviously 21 years since Everton have won at Anfield. And I think Everton are equipped to win now. They've got the team. We know that they can blow hot and cold from time to time, but I think they're going to be right up for the game.
And just back to the game in '99, Kev, what was your reaction when you saw Sander Westerveld and Francis Jeffers coming to blows in such a heated game?
Well, I know it can happen, but I didn't expect. I didn't expect Freddie to throw a couple of haymakers as well. I got to tell you that. But you know, Freddie, listen, he's a blue through and through, and he was standing his ground, which is great. But I thought the referee could have given a couple of yellow cards and give him a stern talking to. But because there was blows thrown from both players, you know, he didn't really have a choice, and you know, obviously he sent them off. And I was thinking, I think who went in, it was
Steve Staunton.
Steve Staunton went in goal. So I'm thinking, hey, listen, let's get some more play and let's get some shots at him. But you know, the game started to get a little bit stretched, and because we had something to hold on to, we kind of went into, you know, we can protect. Let's protect and catch him on the break. So which is fine. And obviously Steven Gerrard got sent off a bit later, didn't he?
I'll touch on that as well.
Yeah, a bit later on in the game, but you know, you know, seeing them trade blows, it meant that much. It really did. It meant that much.
And obviously, in the 90s, Everton didn't have as bad of a record as they've got now. Everton would quite regularly beat Liverpool, especially under Joe Royle. But I understand that you went into the famous boot room at Anfield after the game and had a laugh.
Yeah, went into well, yeah. I mean, it was Waggy. Dave Watson, he was. I don't know how I found myself in there, but I was just in there, and you know, all the backroom staff, the old boot room boys, and all that were in there, and we're just having a laugh, having a chat. You know, very respectful. And Phil Thompson had a face like thunder, you know, and Dave Watson said to him, you know, Phil, you know, he says, you know, we're pleased we won today, obviously, but you know, I'm going in for an operation tomorrow. So Phil said, what's the problem? You know, is it anything serious? He says, no, it's nothing serious. Just to get this smile off my face. And Phil Thompson, you can see the steam coming out of Phil Thompson. He just walked out. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. Really good, really good. But the banter was always still there between the backroom staffs because, you know, whoever wins, you're still going to see each other around here.
And I believe that night you went out to celebrate and recognise someone on the night out that had done quite a nasty challenge on you earlier in the game.
Well, it wasn't planned. It was just, you know, as we'd won the game, we thought, you know, let's go out and enjoy it a little bit. And we went down to the docks and went into an establishment there. And we were having a chilled evening, nothing too strenuous, and ended up going to the loo. And as I walked in, there was one person in and it's weird, at the urinal, there's one person there. And he looked familiar. So I've walked up and I've checked him. And I've gone to the urinal and he's turned and looked at me and he's double turned. He said, oh no, Kev, I'm sorry, it was Steven Gerrard. But we had a chat, we had a laugh about it, you know. And obviously he wasn't as happy as I was, but you know, it's just quite ironic how these things work out. That, you know, me and him are the only ones in this toilet. But listen, he was a young lad. He made a bad challenge, but we ended up winning the game. So listen, I didn't feel it, especially after a couple of beers. Yeah,
because I was going to say, obviously, you know, challenges like that happen, and I understand that you've just said, you know, he's a young player. It's a Merseyside derby. So you didn't, you know, harbour any hard feelings.
Oh no! What happened? Listen, what happens on the pitch? You know, that's one thing. You know, you go to war on the pitch because look, I'm not being funny because that could have happened. One of our players could have done it to one of their players. You know, and if you win the game, great. If you lose the game, you know, you leave it where it is. The game's over. You move on. Nobody's disrespecting anybody. It was it's a Merseyside derby, isn't it? We want to win. We won the game, so. Listen, we'll take that. I'll take that all day long if we're going to win.
Why do you think Everton have gone so long without getting a win at Liverpool now? 2 decades. What do you think some of the reasons are?
Some of the reasons are belief. Because it's not an easy place to go, if we're honest. It's not an easy place to go. They're very strong at home. And the crowd at Anfield usually do put a lot of pressure on referees. One thing, they're a good side. They're strong at home. And if you go there without the belief, more likely than not, you're not going to come away with the win. So it is very difficult to win there. Belief, sometimes a lack of quality in the Everton ranks couldn't propel them to a win. And sometimes sheer bad luck. Sometimes bad luck. I mean, there was a couple of years ago, Everton were the better team and could have won the game, didn't win it. And then, a bounce off the bar when the ball should have been pushed over, it comes down and they win the game. Absolutely gutted. It sickens you. But sometimes it can work the other way, and hopefully it can work this way for us on the next Merseyside derby.
And just finally, Kev, can we get a score prediction for the Merseyside derby?
I'd love it to be 1 goal to the good for better than the opposition for Everton. Listen, I'd love a win. I want a win. We need a win. So let's go 2-1 Everton or 1-0. No, I'll go 1-0. Same like the last time when we won. 1-0 Everton.